the first time this great land has been unified in nearly 2,000 years. The Mughal rulers bring their faith with them, Islam. After Hinduism, Islam soon becomes India's second religion. But the invaders don't impose it on the people. They seek a balance between the cultures. The Mughal lords proclaim religious tolerance. More than 100 million people now see business and industry, science and art flourish. Artists at court portray their rulers as godlike beings. There are no limits to the great Mughals' power. Shah Jahan holds sway over his subjects, over life and death. His word is law throughout the empire. This just ruler leads the country to prosperity and stability. The court chronicle records that Shah Jahan brings the people abundant joy and happiness. Under Shah Jahan, Mughal rule in India reaches its dazzling zenith. But now, his greatest legacy, the Taj Mahal, symbol of the Indian nation, is under threat. This has been a high-security zone since 2006. After bomb threats from terrorists and religious fundamentalists, it's guarded round the clock. Access to the mausoleum is tightly controlled. Filming of the magnificent interior is forbidden. No one knows how long the Taj will need this kind of protection. Art historian Ebba Koch was able to study the Taj before the restrictions came into force. She is the international expert on the building and its history. She has also decoded the religious symbolism of the monument.
The Taj Mahal is the
architectural embodiment of this life and of the next, according to Islamic belief. The ground plan shows this duality. The complex is split between the tomb garden with its mausoleum and a worldly side meant for bazaars and markets. What's interesting is that the worldly side is the mirror image of the mausoleum side. The connecting square with the great main gate marks the transition to the tomb garden and opens up the view to the mausoleum.
At the center of the mausoleum is the Holy of Holies, the most splendid room in the Taj Mahal, the final resting place of Shah Jahan's bride. Mumtaz Mahal, the chosen one of the palace, leads a luxurious life in the women's apartments of the Red Fort. Poets admire her grace and charm. Even the moon, they say, hides from her beauty in shame. The First Lady of the Empire is fabulously wealthy.
She has huge resources. She was the highest recipient of money in the entire harem, being the chief queen or the most beloved queen of the emperor, because payments in the harem were graded. We have very interesting accounts of graded payments from a very huge amount to a very small amount. And On top of this, there were gifts, very, very exquisite, expensive gifts on various occasions.
The riches of the Mughal dynasty are legendary. Both men and women wear jewelry. For the men, it's a sign of nobility. And they give precious jewels to their favorites in the harem. Its endless supply of gems makes India the treasure house of the world. In the Mughal Empire, the Indian art of jewelry reaches its peak. Precious stones decorate statues, furniture, weapons, and fabrics. Even today, works by Mughal craftsmen command the highest prices. The same is true of India's textiles. Cotton has been woven here for more than 4,000 years. This is still a vital industry in India. Under the Mughals, India became the world's leading exporter of precious fabrics. The rulers, the great Mughal and his family, cashed in on the trade. Shah Jahan has a special duty to his dynasty: to produce heirs. His wives in the harem bear him children. But as the chronicles tell us, once they've done their duty, these women are his wives in name only. Shah Jahan's harem may once have been a love nest. Soon it comes to resemble a nursery.
The harem is not an informal, entirely informal space. It's a space with a certain protocol. It is a space with a certain hierarchy. It is a space with a whole set of rules and regulations.
With the empire at peace, there's plenty of leisure time to fill. The Mughals' enjoyment of alcohol and opium is legendary. Shah Jahan and Mumtaz Mahal are together every possible moment, as the chronicles record.
The mutual affection and harmony between the two had reached a degree never seen between a husband and a wife among the classes of rulers or among the other people.
The Imperial Chronicle describes their life at court.
The intimacy, deep affection, attention and favor which His Majesty had for the chosen one of the palace exceeded by 1,000 times what he felt for any other.
For Shah Jahan, the happiness of Mumtaz Mahal is paramount.
If you look at the wardrobe of the emperor, or if you look at his private chambers, if you look at the shelf which displays all the perfumes, ointments, oil, and a whole range of aphrodisiacs, then you would perhaps know that there is a lot of interest to develop into good lovers, to acquire emotions or to release emotions in a way that would revitalize them or rejuvenate them.
Her husband's love is shared and returned by Mumtaz Mahal from the depths of her soul.
And always, that lady of the age was the companion, close confidant, associate and intimate friend of that successful ruler, in hardship and comfort, joy and grief, when traveling or in residence.
Fortune smiles on the king of the world, but not for long. There is unrest in the empire. In 1629, reports reach Agra of another uprising. A distant province has rebelled against the empire again. This means war. Shah Jahan mobilizes his army. He will crush opposition with brute force. Day after day, week after week, the Mughal army blazes a trail across the Indian plains. Nearly 2 years of forced marches follow for Shah Jahan's soldiers. But nothing will tear Mumtaz Mahal from her husband's side. The Mughals are forced to leave their capital again and again, to crush rebellions in the Deccan region. The campaign seems to have no end. The great Mughal still puts his faith in his cannons, the latest superweapons imported from the Turkish Empire. His soldiers haul them over mountains and across the roughest terrain, shattering city walls, wiping out the rebels. But his string of victories is interrupted by tragedy. In the midst of the campaign, Mumtaz Mahal falls pregnant with the emperor's child. But there are complications at the birth. For once the king is powerless. As his bride weakens, the great Mughal can do nothing but pray. The court chronicle recorded the sad events.
On the 17th of June 1631, the unfortunate demise of Her Majesty the Queen took place shortly after her confinement and made the whole world a house of mourning.
Mumtaz Mahal dies after the birth of her 14th child. Shah Jahan's world has come to an end. They say the emperor fasted for 8 days, locked in his chambers. For 2 years he heard no music, wore no jewelry or perfume.
His hair and beard had turned grey. He looked older, much older than what he looked when he went into confinement or statutory mourning. So surely this must have had a deep impact on him.
Before she died, legend says, Mumtaz Mahal made a wish for a mausoleum more sublime than any the world had seen. This will be Shah Jahan's task for the rest of his life, to erect the world's most beautiful building in her memory. The Taj Mahal stands in a long tradition of fabulous memorials in India. Shah Jahan's predecessors had constructed many gorgeous mausoleums. The Taj Mahal combines the very best elements of the memorials to Shah Jahan's forefathers. The tomb of his own father provides the model for the minarets. His great-grandfather's mausoleum had 4 corner turrets surrounding a central core. The 4 mighty portals are inspired by his grandfather's tomb. And Shah Jahan took the form of the Great Dome from the memorial to a famous ancestor. Different models, united in perfect harmony. No other mausoleum may come close to the Taj Mahal